Eagle double G.
What's up, YouTube? This is your friendly neighborhood movie nerd, back to give you guys everything that is going on in the world of movies and TV. And today I am reviewing Atomic Blonde, the next movie from David Leitch, one of the co-directors of John Wick. And this time it stars Charlize Theron as an action-like assassin, very much similar to John Wick. But was this movie as great as those trailers made it out to be? Let's find out. This is my review for oh my god, I almost said it, Atomic Blonde.
Oh my God, I think I love you.
That's too bad.
Atomic Blonde centers around Lorraine Broughton, played by Charlize Theron, an MI6 agent who's sent to London in 1989 at the height of the Cold War, right as the Berlin Wall is about to come crashing down. She's sent to recover yet another knock list, a list of double agents that, if it gets into the wrong hands, could be disastrous for the Allied powers. Along the way, she teams up with fellow undercover agent David Percival, played by James McAvoy, but soon learns that, as in the case with most spy movies, she can't trust anyone. This movie was fucking awesome. Was the story anything new? No, this is literally the exact same setup they used in the first Mission Impossible and Skyfall. But considering I was going into this expecting female John Wick and really not much else, I got a hell of a lot more than I thought, so the generic story really didn't bug me. Then the fact that everything else in this movie was so close to perfect that at one point I wasn't even paying attention to the story, which unfortunately was convoluted as hell. A lot of people have been saying that this movie was yet another example of style over substance, and I would tend to agree, but what I will say is that this is one of those few instances that I find where that's okay, because again, the story is nothing new, so why not go all out and make it as stylized as possible? And I would expect nothing less from the guys who did John Wick, one of the most impressive action movies of the past decade. And this movie does not disappoint in the slightest. The action is easily the best part about this movie because it is so engrossing and so well shot. The cinematography in this movie is out of this world good. And not gonna lie, the main action set piece literally puts the entire movie of friggin' Birdman, The Raid, and I would say the two major fight scenes that people say from both seasons of Daredevil to shame. Character-wise, this movie leaves a little bit to be desired, but for the most part, it's engrossing enough that you're interested enough to follow each one of these guys going through, because Charlize is fantastic in the role. Charlize Theron is one of the best actresses out there. She is great, but there were certain points where I definitely thought she was a tad bit stale, at least for me until the end, which, without spoiling anything, shed a completely new light on her performance. For me, though, the standout was James McAvoy, who already gave one of the best performances earlier this year with Split, and he does it again here as the hard-drinking, chain-smoking undercover agent disguised as an East Berlin hard partier, who is just the right balance between charming, roguish, and completely nuts, that every time he's on screen, you just want to see more of him. Like, seriously, like, he's gone for large gaps of this film, and the movie really lacks it, and it shows. Outside of the main two, the rest of the supporting players are pretty meh. You got John Goodman and Toby Jones as superiors. James Faulkner, Randall Tarley is in there. He's got a few lines. Sophia Boutella is actually really good in this. She shows up for a couple scenes. She's pretty freaking fantastic in this. Then again, she hasn't really given a bad performance yet. She was the best part about Star Trek Beyond. So, for me at least, Atomic Blonde was a completely unexpected and extremely entertaining thrill ride, as it starts off a tad bit slow, but it gets really, really fast once the second act hits. But despite an unoriginal story, the action and the cinematography are enough to keep you entertained and that you won't even realize it. I'm giving this movie 9 out of 10 stars. And I will say that if this movie made me excited for anything, it is to see what David Leitch is going to do with Deadpool 2. No wonder Ryan Reynolds doesn't want to do his own stunts if it's going to be half like what happened in this movie. So that is it. That is my review for Atomic Blonde. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. Make sure you click the like button and that subscribe button, and be sure to follow me on Twitter at movienerdreview, and head on over to my website, movienerdreviews.com, as well as to check me out on Stardust, Movie Nerd. That is it. I will see you guys next time.